Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here to bring you a wig review. I'm here to show you BelleTress Peerless in the color British Milktea. This is Peerless. This is an awesome color. If you're curious about the color or the style, then please stick around for the rest of this video. We're gonna go deep on this one. Alright everyone, we are here today to talk about this really beautiful wig. I want to tell you quickly though that I purchased this wig as part of my new heat-friendly wig series. I haven't filmed any of those videos yet, but right now what I am doing is I'm gathering my heat-friendly wigs that are going to be part of this series. And I'm going to be wearing them almost exclusively so that I can fully test out how heat-friendly wigs last, how you care for them, the tips and tricks that I learn, and my ultimate recommendations whether you're a new or experienced wig wearer when it comes to heat-friendly wigs. So if you want to know more about heat-friendly, I really recommend that you subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so that you will get notices when I post new videos. I am trying to do a lot of tips and tutorials and teaching on my channel in addition to wig reviews. So if that is something that you could use as part of your wig journey, some of that learning, then please stick around for other videos. Alright, this wig, I purchased it because of the research. Normally I would not have bought a wig like this, and I have fallen in love with it. It is such a cute style. So I can't wait to tell you more about it, and if you like long wigs, definitely you want to hear what I think about this one. But let me just show you what this one looks like from all sides. Hope I'm far enough away so you can see that the whole length of this one, because it is really long. I'll step closer to the camera in just a moment. I feel like I'm like a half a room away from you guys, but in order to get the full length, I do need to be back quite a ways, and it is quite long. Like, it's kind of the top of my bust area here. So depending on your body size, this could actually be mermaid hair for you, if you know what I mean. I'm a tall girl, I'm 5'9", and so it's long on me. So if you're a short, maybe petite, this is going to be super long on you. So let's talk about the color. If you're here only for the color, I will put a timestamp, a bunch of timestamps below, but I'll timestamp the sections where I talk about the color so you can skip ahead and get this color, because I am going to show it in other lighting. So this is my kind of studio lighting. Then I've got outside lighting. I've already filmed the outside portion of this. I've also filmed this video a couple of times now for social media, because I've worn this, I think, two times for extensive periods, and then a couple of other times just for a little bit to play with it. And so I've taken lots of pictures. So I'm going to tack pictures on. I'll have other pieces of this video so you'll be able to see this color in a lot of different scenarios, because I think it's a tough one. So let's get closer. I want to show you this color up close. So this British Milktea color is very dynamic. As hopefully you can see, it's got multiple colors running through it. It is not a stripy color though. It's really creatively blended and looks really good. And one thing that I have noticed is it's very, like the colors running through it, these darker colors are like a beige. It's the best way I can describe it. Maybe slightly caramely, but kind of like a beige color. And the primary effect of this color is that it is kind of a gray with some dynamic beigey low lights in it. So if you're looking for an ashy color that does tend to look gray in some lighting, this color could be a great color for you. If you're looking for a brunette that is just got some highlights and is lighter, but that could pass for like a light brown, I don't think this is the color for you. I'm not really picking up much in the way of brunette on this one. I think it's more of an ashy gray blonde with some dynamic darker colors in it rather than a brunette. You do have a little bit of a root. It's going to come across a lot darker here because I have so much light on me. It's really not a dark root at all. It's like you're taking some of these beigey tones and you're concentrating them at the root, and then they're just a little bit darker, and it's very shadow effect. It's not a super dark, thick root at all. So if you are sort of on the fence about rooting, you're not really sure if you love rooting, this isn't a significant root. So I wouldn't be afraid of this one if you can do some rooting. It's definitely not significant. So you've got all kinds of dynamic, very light, kind of beigey, but all of it gives sort of the effect of being somewhat gray. I would kind of describe this color as if somebody has gray hair. Like, let's say you've been coloring your hair. This is so common now. You see this all over. People colored their hair. Then the pandemic hit and they stopped coloring their hair, and now they want to go back to their natural hair color, but they want to accentuate it a little bit. So this is like if you had sort of a whitish gray base color and then you added kind of these beigey caramely lowlights to it, and then toned it. It gives me the sense of being toned a little bit, and you can sort of see in some light a little bit of lavender. You cannot see that really here, and when I went outside you really couldn't see it outside, but I've noticed what looks like lavender tones in some indoor lighting. So that's another kind of unique piece to this. So hopefully that helped you a little bit. We'll get outside, we'll show it in lots of different lighting. Let's talk about the piece now. Okay, this wig is so flattering. I love the face framing layers. I am struggling a little bit with the bangs, and these I've been having to push aside a lot, try to figure out how they want to lay and train them. I do think that I'm going to need to take some heat to these bangs to get them to kind of behave, and I also think I'm going to need to pluck the root because it's really densely knotted and you can't really see that mono part very well, and I think if I pluck it a little, it's going to lay a little bit better from side to side, and I think the bangs will lay a little bit better. So I'll probably do that once I've finished with the review. This one does have some wavy pieces, but it is not curly. It's got a little bit of wave to it, but definitely not a full-on beachy wave and not a curl at all. This is heat friendly, like I said in the beginning. So you'll want to be really cautious with this one because of the length. These fibers are going to rub up on your clothes constantly, and that could cause some fraying, which can be handled with heat, which is one of the reasons I'm doing that series. I will say though, I've worn this now 2 times for 5+ hours each, and I have worn it a couple of other times for a little bit of time, and so far not only is it holding up great, but it's not tangling terribly. I'm super impressed with how little this piece tangles. Even though it is so long, it really isn't getting super tangled. I'm so impressed by that. It does tangle a little, don't get me wrong. Don't go buy this and then you get some tangles and you think I misled you. Every wig of this length is going to tangle. It's just a matter of how badly it tangles, and so far I haven't noticed terrible tangling. The density on this one I would call moderate. It is not heavy density though. I do not feel overwhelmed by this piece, which is really surprising because I'm not used to long hair at all, and this is really long for me, but I think the density is perfect. It is enough that this doesn't look like it's thinning and doesn't look straggly at the ends, which can sometimes happen with long, low density wigs, but it's enough, not too much that you feel super overwhelmed by like so much hair up here. It's really well done in the area of density. As far as permatease goes, there is permatease all kind of on the sides here. There is not much. It's not super heavy and pillowy, but I can feel it. There's a little bit of crimpy fibers up at the top, very minimal. It is not a heavy permatease wig at all, and I really appreciate the permatease that they put in here because it helps give it just a little bit of volume, which is really flattering for a wig this length versus no permatease. It would lay so flat, you'd really struggle with the flatness in conjunction with this length. Let's talk about the lace front and the monofilament. So this one does have a lace front and it's great. BelleTress has really improved their lace fronts over the years since I started wearing wigs. It is so good. They put a lot of these really light colors up at the front. Make sure I'm low enough so you can see it. And it's actually a very skinny lace front from the perspective of the part that sticks out. So sometimes on BelleTress wigs and some other wigs, I feel as though you can see the lace on the lace front, and I end up having to trim it a little bit. That is not the case. There is no extra lace here to trim. It is enough that it's realistic. It gives you the effect that you want, but you don't get any of that extra lace, which I've not seen before in a BelleTress wig, and I really like it. And then they took the highlights, like I said, so you don't see the knotting. Let me show you what's unique though about this monofilament that I also really haven't seen a lot of. So as some of you who are experienced wig wearers know, when you get a mono part wig, which this is, most of those mono parts are on the left side going to the right. That's the majority of mono part wigs out there. There are just a few that are right going to the left. That's really relatively rare. So for those of you who like to part on the right, you end up having to buy mono tops so that you have that flexibility. This one is more of a center part, but the way that it sits on me, it's just slightly right of center. So it doesn't really feel like a center part to me. And it's right of center as opposed to left of center, which will make some of you really happy. And look at the real estate you get on this. So first of all, look at how thick this is. This gives you so much flexibility to go straight center, slightly right, slightly left of center. It wants to go slightly right of center naturally, but you can shift that with some effort. And look at how deep this is. You've got so much lace front here that you do have a lot of parting flexibility on this one, truly. So I really like that about this. You've got ear tabs that have tons of hair sewn into them, which gives some unbelievable coverage, which I'll show you. You've got no extended nape and pull strap adjusters. Don't really like those. I don't think they hold very well. You can put a stitch in them to keep them in place if you do end up having to tighten this wig. And I plan to do a Tip Tuesday showing how to do that. It's really easy. A needle and thread, a couple of stitches, you'll hold it in place. These wigs fit big on me. I've had a couple of BelleTress wigs that did not fit large on me. Most of the BelleTress wigs I've had fit large on me, and this one absolutely fits large on me. So let me get it situated again so I can put it back on. When you've got all this hair and you take it off and you turn it inside out, it's not as quick and easy to get straightened back out again so you can stick it back on your head. But I want to show you, now that I've kind of told you about that, mono part, I kind of want to show you more about that, and then I want to talk about the fit. So this wig, like I said, fits me big. It is very generously sized. If you are an average petite, I think you're going to struggle with this wig a lot unless you know how to modify a cap, which is another Tip Tuesday I really want to do, to show you how to put a few stitches in a cap to make it a little bit snugger. If you are an average large, I think you're going to fit this pretty good, actually, pretty well. I think you can, an average to an average large is going to be good. See these bangs? They just need some help. I just always struggle with them when I first put it on. So before I talk about fit, let me just show you that mono. So you can see that mono part. It's so deep here that I have all this flexibility, all of this, to decide where I want to part that front part. And it's kind of going right of center, and then I've just got these kind of wangy bangs that I need to figure out what to do with them. If you want to cut a full bang in this, you can. It's just that my particular piece has a lot of lift right there, so you might need to take some heat to it to get it to lay more uniformly flat if you do end up taking cutting a full bang into it. Otherwise, you've got a lot of flexibility up there. The coverage is amazing. You can see none of my bio hair here. You often can see some of my bio hair. This is the ear tabs sit way front and below my ear. It doesn't sit on my ear, but it couldn't be a whole lot lower and be comfortable. So this fits me like as generously as it can. and still be considered to fit me. I would struggle to wear glasses with this one because the ear tabs are so low on me that I would end up having to stick them under the ear tabs or over the ear tabs. And for long periods of time, that can pinch and be a little uncomfortable. From a coverage standpoint though, it's amazing, and that is awesome. I do get extra cap. I do think this cap runs very, very generous and has some moderate stretch. So again, average large, I think, you know what, like I like to say, I think it's big head friendly. I don't think it's small head friendly. And so take that with a grain of salt. Otherwise, it fits great. Coverage is great. I'm used to wigs being big on me because I have very petite over the top of my head. Look at my measurements in the description and compare them to yours. So I don't find wigs that fit me big to be uncomfortable. I actually find wigs that fit me snug to be uncomfortable because I'm not used to it. All right, you guys, I've gone on and on. I really wanted to give you an in-depth review of this one because I've worn it a few times and because I really like it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my bathroom and I'm going to do a little bit of styling for you guys. I'm going to tack on at least one other video that I filmed for social media because I think it gives you a good sense of this wig in some different lighting. And we're going to go outside so you can see this color outside. Let me know if you have any questions about this one. I like it. If you can wear long wigs and you're not afraid to deal with heat-friendly fibers on a long wig, it might need to go on your wish list because it is really, really great. And I think they did a nice job with this one. So let's go and do some styling. All right, we are outside with the color British Milktea. I'm going to do my very, very best to show this to you in this outside light. You can see the sky is very cloudy. I do not have any direct sunlight, which I think will help some because you won't get that glare. This is, you know, filtered sunlight. So let's get in close here. So the best I can do is tell you that it has a grayish cast to it. It has these beige highlights. They're really like a beige blonde. In some lighting, it does pull a little bit purple. Super light lavender. I shouldn't say purple. It's like a super light lavender, almost like your eyes are playing tricks on you. And you can't really see that in this outside light. No. So the root is subtle, very subtle, and not dark. Let me see. Wish I had like a super dark background I could get up against. So when you see it up against this weathered wood fence, that's where you can kind of see the beige. I think the beige really pops with that background. I would consider this an ashy color. Definitely ashy. You know, I think you probably would consider this a blonde, but it's sort of in a class all its own. I wouldn't consider it really a brunette. I don't really see a lot of traditional brunette tones in this one. And I think that's where I struggled a little bit myself as a brunette who does wear a lot of different colors. But I thought maybe it might be a little bit more brunette than it really is. It's you know, for me, if I really had to classify this color, I would call it a unique take on a gray, actually. And so a lot of people are growing their hair out, growing their gray out, not getting their hair fully colored anymore. And this to me seems like a really creative way to play up your gray hair by adding some of these really beautiful beige tones to it and toning it. You know, I think it seems like this is maybe a grayish blonde that's been toned as well. It's not really pulling platinum, but so that's my take on it here in Outdoor Light. Hopefully that helped you guys. you.